You woke up this morning and you looked at your portfolio and you're not feeling so good. If you hold XRP, your portfolio has gone a little bit down in value. It's the same thing across the board for most cryptocurrencies with some really few exceptions. If that's you, let me show you something, especially why you shouldn't worry. Now, this is called crypto bubbles. What it does is it represents the cryptocurrency ecosystem in visual form and really gives you a nice impression of how good or bad things are. Now, if you look across the board, everything is red with a few exceptions, right? You have MNT here, YFI, Near Protocol, Doge, which is doing very well thanks to Elon Musk, and TIA, which has done a 4%. Now, apart from that, all the other ones are red. HBAR is not doing too bad at 1.6%. You have, if it doesn't show a percentage, it means it's quite low and it's just not showing. The absolute worst ones are the ones with the big bubbles. So if it's a big green bubble, it means it's done pretty well. And if it's a big red bubble, it means it's done pretty bad. As you can see, Hex, EHEX, which I suppose is an Ethereum wrap of Hex there, it's not doing very well at all at -14. And you have FTT here at -18. Terrible. Now, what we human beings suffer from is something called recency bias. It's the same reason why people think Tyson Fury is a better boxer than Muhammad Ali, or that Cristiano Ronaldo is better than Pele or even Maradona. People tend to reach for things in the most recent era and give it more weight, more percentage than it ought to have. Because as we progress in time, we lose the importance of the time that has passed. Now let's zoom out a little bit to see what it looked like within the week. All of a sudden, nearly more than half have gone green. Not only have more than half gone green, we have some gigantic ones here. Hiding behind my face here is TIA, which has done the biggest jump, as you can see. Hex still doing pretty badly, unfortunately. Let me close that. And then YFI, which has done a doubling in price. As you can see, a lot of them have gone green. Avalanche doing amazingly at 66%. Is that really how much is pumped in a week? That's crazy. And then you've got Render, CAS. I told you to keep an eye on this K1 a minute ago, right? CAS, because it was in the negative and quite small in movement in the one-day window. But look at it, +39 in the last week alone. But see how the moves have been huge over the week, right? Crow did very well in the last week. I'm holding a little bit of Crow because I have the Crypto.com Visa card, and you have to lock up a little bit of Crow to be able to use that Visa card properly. And also you get some benefits, which include free Spotify and free Netflix. I think they canceled that for most of the lower tier cards, but for the higher tier cards, that's still a thing. Now, if you hold any one of these giant green bubbles, especially YFI, Rune, Avalanche, or TIA here, then you're sitting very pretty. You're very happy because you've done very well. Now, let's zoom out even further to 1 month. 1 month ago, absolutely everybody, even Hex, has almost doubled in the last month. So even though Hex seems to be doing pretty bad today, and if you're looking at your Hex portfolio and it's saying -20%, -30%, realize that if you bought Hex just last month, you were dollar cost averaging into it, you've almost doubled your money. And look at this, OD up at 617%. That is approaching a 10x. Look at Pepe is up 78%. YFI 190%. Okay, now keep an eye. What was it I told you to keep an eye on? CAS, right? Look at that, 172%. So now you're really, really happy because you've more than doubled your money. You've almost tripled your CAS, right? Link doing very well. Rune doing very well. Everybody doing well. You know, some doing better than others, obviously, but everybody looking good. Now, the crypto market really lifted off in the past month is why we can see that almost everybody, if not absolutely everybody, is in the green within the last month. However, within the last year, we expect to see some reds again. okay? Because last year, this time last year, some of these coins actually achieved their all-time highs or experienced a giant pump of some kind. Chiliz is one of those. So even though Chiliz is up within the month quite dramatically, it is still minus 69 from last year. That's because Chiliz, like many of these other altcoins, are still 80%, 75% down from all-time highs. The last pump that we saw in the last month or so has brought them up from their minus 99% and minus 90% to the minus 80 to minus 75% range. And look at CAS. That's the one I told you to keep an eye on, right? Look at that. 1,850% in the last year alone. So if you had bought CAS in the last year alone, you're really close to doing a 20x. And I can imagine that still has a fair bit to run, but it's run pretty hard, okay? So Hex, again, down nearly 80% from last year. That's because this time last year, they had that pulse chain thing that made it run pretty hard. EOS, just really sad. This should be a great token back in the day. I don't know what's happened. It's just basically dropped off for some reason. But my point is, depending on your time scale, when you got in, which window you're looking through, your portfolio tells a completely different story, okay? So moral of the story is this. Over the longer period of time, all you have to do is dollar cost average when you can, okay? Buy low, sell high. It's so dramatically simple that it's probably why it makes you feel uncomfortable while you're doing it, because it just seems like you're not doing enough. It seems like you should be trading, you should be swing trading, you should be doing all these leverage swings and things. But all you have to do is when the markets are red, just dollar cost average, and just wait for the glory days when most of these cryptocurrencies are going to be showing these 1,000%, 5,000%, 10,000%, especially these smaller cap ones when the time comes. Of course, I haven't mentioned XRP in this whole video, but if you look here, even XRP is up 60% in the last year alone. Okay? Not financial advice. Do your own research, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.